Hey folks, welcome to another one. This is not really an episode, we're just rolling some footage today. But we're rolling some lovely footage with the new GFX100, which I've got testing at the moment. As you can hear, you're getting real live noises. We're out on location. We've got beautiful scenery behind us. Still people banging on yachts and boats and things behind us somewhere. But we thought we'd come out as the weather's so nice and just go through some of the initial testing that we've done this morning. So we did a studio shoot with the GFX100 this morning. We were in studio. I know what you're going to say, studio, it's all controlled, it's not really challenging, but we beg to differ because it was a children's fine art portrait shoot. Now, if any of you have shot children before, you know for a fact that children less than 6 years old have zero attention span. And that can be quite challenging in itself. And believe me, it was fun. Stressful all at the same time, but we had a good time nonetheless. So what did we do? Yeah, we shot with flash this morning, as it was fine art, so yeah, all very controlled, and yes, with flash sync and flash sync speed as well. But let's just go through some of the things that we did this morning and how we got on with it and how we enjoyed it, because I want to go through some of the things I tried not to do, which this camera made it hard for me not to do. And that was literally because the focus is so good. Oh, and actually I just want to go back one point. I've had 2 firmware upgrades in the last 3 days on this one for the body, which now enables the phase detect focusing to work on this system. I've then had to upgrade all my lenses. I told you we were live, you can hear all the cars and everything going out of this car park. So just going back a bit, I've had two firmware upgrades in this one in the few days that I've had it. So that enables me now to take advantage of the phase detect focusing in this system, and it's kind of sped everything else up as well. It's had like a nitrous boost since I've tested this previously from when I had my hands on it. So now the focusing is even better in this thing. But at the same token, I've then had to go through all my lenses and upgrade all the firmware on my lenses as well, so they're up to date to be able to talk to the camera and they can talk to each other. But that's been awesome. Now the hardest thing for me, I've got to say, in studio today was, I mean, for me it's like a Canon 1DX, and I used to shoot Canon 1DX anyway, so the size is no big thing for me until you start getting, say, the 110 lens on there and it gets a bit heavier. But if you're a medium format shooter, you're used to it anyway. If you're a DSLR shooter and you stick a 70-200 on there, you're in the same weight territory anyway, so you guys will know what I mean. It doesn't really matter. But the focusing was so quick on this and so nice and so easy, because the focusing is almost on par with the X-T3 in terms of speed. Not quite, but almost there on most of the lenses. And I think that for a medium format, especially 100 megapixels or 102 megapixels, is phenomenal. Now, the one thing I was trying not to do, and for damn good reason, is shoot lots of bloody frames. Why? Because each RAW is over 200 megs, okay? Over 200 megs. So what you don't want to be is a happy trigger shooter. I'm not normally, unless I'm set up with, say, an X-T3, where you can get away with it a bit more on file size and things like that, it's fine. But over 200 mega file, I think I shot about 42 shots, and I was shooting tethered into Capture One Pro, but I noticed that my 38 to 40 shots was about 14 gigabytes already for 40 shots. So if you're not shooting tethered, I mean, that's monstrous. You know, you've definitely got to ramp up your cards. So don't go crazy hellfire with this trigger, or man, you're gonna have to just buy shares in storage. And remember, you know, when we retouch and edit in these, I always take it from Capture One Pro and I export that as a 16-bit TIFF. All right, that takes the file size to 600 megs an image, which is just monstrous, absolutely monstrous. But what this thing, as much as I'm loving it already, and we haven't shot very much of it, we're going to do a bit of filming with it here today, or like we got left. It's 4:45 in the afternoon. We've got a nice bit of cloud cover, which is nice, but we're going to do a bit of video on this at the moment to take advantage of the 5-axis stabilization, image stabilization. But what this made it hard for me to do was to not shoot quickly. Because of the focusing speed and because it was handling it so well and the focus was locking on, taking into account my studio ambient light was darkened down a little bit. I had a little LED light in my battery powered monoblocks and my strobes. So not masses of light, but it was still picking up and still locking focus. It was so easy to just shoot more, and the hellfire, I just tried to hold back on that because I had those numbers crunching through in my head of how big these file sizes are. But it was challenging to not shoot more because it was so good and it was so damn easy. That's what I love about it already. Now, I know some of you may think I may be a little bit biased because I'm a Fujifilm ambassador here in the UK, and you might be right to some degree because everything I shoot now is Fujifilm. Even though I changed to Fujifilm before I was invited to become an ambassador and all that kind of thing, it was my own decision. After shooting Canon for 23 years and Hasselblad and Leica medium format. But I like this. I like the ergonomics. I like the body style and shape now. Not that I didn't like it. I still, shoot the 50S and the 50R a lot, and probably more the 50R at the moment more than anything. But I like this. I almost kind of wish that the grip was detachable, just for that choice. But I know the batteries are in there, so it can't be. So we've got to live with that one. I said from the days of when I saw the prototypes with Fujifilm in the early days that I didn't like this finger grip. I didn't like the profile on this edge. It's too angular. It would be nicer if it was rounder, and I didn't like the finish and the surface finish either. Now I know they're talking about a finger cover of some sort. I don't know what it is yet, but my decision on that, and yes, there are some things I dislike. I still don't like the finish on this. In my opinion, you get used to it and you kind of forget about it because it does still fit in a hand lovely anyway. It would have been nicer if that was rounder like we originally asked for, but by then the design was already fixed, so it was too late. The rest of it, there's 2 batteries in this grip. It's so easy to use. I'm liking the single dial on top to go between still and multi and movie. We'll push that button. That's really easy. Movie functions are separate to still functions. I'm liking the top dials within that screen and the other functions I've got through that button if I want to go through those menu functions on there. It's really nice. I still wish the rear thumb dial was a bit more tactile. That's all I can say. I said that originally and thought that maybe they could change that, but that's the same. Apart from that, I never had any problems with it. I never had any lockups. It was just shooting fine, focusing fine. I did about a handheld, I did a bit of tripod, shooting one of my favorite lenses, the GF100 f2. I wasn't shooting wide open because I just wanted a little bit of depth of field in there for the distance I was at to my model, or my child model that wouldn't stay still. And yep, so it was good. It was good fun. It was really good fun. We've had a blast with this. Kind of lost my way a little bit, just trying to find my rear thumbstick, because obviously it is a slightly different thumb position and the distance is a little bit different from what I shoot every day. And I don't care what you say, whether you say it's a Fujifilm or not, if you move a button from our configuration, even a millimeter or 2, it kind of throws you off a little bit. But it's nothing that another, couple of hours or something on this, shooting it that way in landscape and portrait format won't resolve. I'm sure muscle memory will take over and we'll be just fine all over again. Absolutely fine. The camera is pretty much standard in terms of its setup and its settings. Phase detection, eye detect focus button is here. I can turn that on and off on the back. I've left that where it is. That's quite handy. And I'm still retaining manual aperture control and ISO and shutter on the front and rear scroll wheels. The viewfinder on this thing is phenomenal. It is so big and so bright, even with the aeroplanes. Now the sun's coming out as well and I'm getting blinded. The viewfinder is amazing. is amazing. I haven't adjusted any color in it, no contrast, no saturation, no brightness, no nothing. I thought that this new EVF is just outstanding out of the bag. I mean, with my eye looking at colors and then looking through the EVF at colors, I can't see too much difference between them, very, very little. And looking at the whites, there's not really much of a blue or a green hue in the whites either. So I've not really had to adjust it like I did on my GFX 50S and 50R. I've got to say, I'm loving the way it's working. It is so damn quick on focus. You've got to remember, it's medium format. Our focus speeds in medium format over the years have never been as good as DSLR or other compact system camera mirrorless systems. So to have this with this quickness, this responsiveness, and locking on like it does even in fairly low light in the studio environment, gotta say, I'm more impressed than I was when I saw the original prototype quite a few months back. I know lots of firmware upgrades and everything else has taken place since then, but man, this is one hell of a system. Now, at a price tag of 10,000, not many people are going to need it. But I think when people test this with the latest firmware upgrade in it, I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to want it. Even though they still don't need it, they're still going to want this damn thing. Canon 1DX shooters, you're definitely going to want it. The one thing you're not going to want, even though you can choose to reduce its size, is its file size as an untouched RAW out of this thing. You know, over 200 megs a file. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It's monstrous. But I've got to say, we're liking it. So I think for us, that's just a little roundup. We're going to go and shoot some other stuff now. We're down here in a lovely marina. I've got some lovely yachts around. The weather's still good. The sun's coming back out. We're going to shoot a little bit of video, handheld. We've got no gimbals. We've got nothing to put this on, so it's going to be handheld. Yes, we'll treat it with care. We're not going to run around being silly. You know, an inbuilt image stabilization system is not going to just correct everything you do badly. You still have to use it correctly to get the best out of it. But we're going to film some 4K in this thing. Obviously, I can shoot the Eternal up in this, the Eternal film simulation in this, which we're probably going to do. We're going to bake it in because the Eternal simulation is just gorgeous. But we're just out here enjoying the weather, down by the water. Beautiful scenery, beautiful sunshine, looking around the marina. So until we've done a bit more testing and we come back for another little bit of review, we'll see you then. But keep checking back, because there's going to be some more juicy details, and we can't wait to give you guys some of the footage from this thing, once we've retouched it, of course. And I've got to tell you, when I zoom in 100% on Capture One, it's scary. The detail in this thing is scary. So good, scary. It's a good kind of scary. But you guys are going to love it. The detail in this thing is insane. Insane. Retouches, you're going to love it and hate it. You're going to have so much information to play with. It's just unreal. But at the same token, oh man, it's going to show everything. It's going to show absolutely everything in so much detail. It's going to be one of those Marmite things. But more people are going to love than hate. But until next time, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. And we'll be back with some more info on this, and we will film some, maybe we'll do a live stream, you know, some BTS. We've got a lot to shoot on this thing this week, and we're going to put it through its paces a little bit in a lot of genres. So we're going to have some fun. So until next time, we're going to go and have some more fun, and we'll see you again soon.